DNVR Broncos live, coming to you from Studio A, where the A stands for what if Plan A doesn't work?
Yes, I'll let it pass. It works.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm not letting it pass. I mean,
what's your issue with it?
what if Plan A actually works?
Plan B is in our headline, or backup plan.
Yeah, if anything, just say Plan B. But
that would be B.
But that's what it would be. Plan A. The A is like the fifth word of the sentence.
So to fit Ryan the way he does it, yeah, that's fair.
It doesn't have to start the sentence.
That was kind
of an amendment he made like a month ago.
Yeah.
No, there's never been any rules.
You've kind of made your own rules quietly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, no, there's no rule. I would never set my own rules. That would just hurt me.
But it's like if you do something long enough, it kind of establishes guidelines.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
You set expectations high.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, there are no rules because it's my bit. And today it stands for there's no what if Plan A doesn't work. But as John Elway would say, we're going Plan A. The problem is Plan A is hurt.
Yeah, you can't just go into the season blind with Plan A, or you're going to be running into problems of not being able to run the ball potentially.
Definitely. I mean, I don't know. I've mentioned this a couple times. It would be a lot of fun just to spend one day talking about maybe Javonte will be back for week 1, and what would that mean for the team? But the reason we haven't is because it doesn't seem like that's the case, and that didn't get any better yesterday.
It got worse.
It did get worse, and we have been preparing ourselves to not have Javonte Williams at the start of the season. We've been preparing people to maybe not until October, which would be a full year. Mm-hmm. We've even been preparing people, maybe the Broncos won't have Javonte Williams this entire season. And George Paton at the Combine kind of threw a wrench in that, and in an optimistic way.
Yeah.
He said...
a good wrench.
If you just read one line of a quote, he said, we're optimistic he's going to be ready to go week 1. Mm-hmm. If you listen to the entire quote in context, there was other things where then he was like, well, maybe not. We're still evaluating. We're not really sure. And he kind of came off of that. But if you just read one quote, you're like, what are you guys doing saying you need a plan B? George Paton said Javonte's ready to go. Yesterday, he really came off of that. He's going to be ready to go week 1. Here's the quote that he said when asked about Javonte starting the season.
We're presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, where Nikola Jokic is the MVP favorite. Go
Boom. Love it. Here's the quote from George Paton on Javonte. He said, we may need to not have the clapping when I'm saying
we're
this
clapping
quote.
for Nikola.
Yeah, but it was still going when I was ready
clipped.
to talk, and we can't have that.
Fair.
Yeah, Javonte,
He says, we'll have to see. He's got a long way to go. He's made great strides, but we won't know that for a while. In a month, he's come off being optimistic that he's going to be ready to go to saying we're not going to know that for a while. He's got a long way to go.
Yeah, I'll be honest. My entire... I don't know if I'm emotionally protecting myself, but I'm just preparing myself for Javonte not playing this season at all.
I'm right there with you, because the way I view it is maybe Javonte's 90% ready to go midway through the season. Why would you bring him back?
Unless you're in a division race.
You better make sure though that final 10% is not going to
go
risk
backwards.
Something. Yeah. And so it does depend there. But I'm also preparing myself for that, Ryan. And I just think that that's a smart thing to do, especially with where the Broncos kind of think they're going to be this year. Sean Payton has pumped the brakes on expectations a ton. And that's okay. But if you're going to be a 500 ball club, if you're going to be one game below 500, and why would you rush one of your most important pieces of the future back midway through the season?
Yeah, I mean, you can't. And, we've talked about it a million times, but TD's quote, just essentially saying, coming back too soon, ruined ended his career.
Yeah, and here's where I want to be with this is, if Javonte's ready to come back, great. I want that as a good surprise. I want to be prepared for the worst, and then the best case is you get a beast coming back to join whatever else you do with the room.
Yep. Really quick, just a quick aside.
Nikola Jokic?
No, I would love to. I would talk about that all day. Remember when we were talking about the Broncos selling, and I said this is going north of $5 billion for sure.
Yeah.
And at the time, that sounded crazy.
Yeah.
Because I think the biggest sale ever was 3.2 before that. Mm-hmm. And then the Broncos go for 4.6, so I was wrong. Now, the Commanders, just months later, are going to go for $6 billion.
Yep.
Or even more. Like one of the
bids
offers
already in at $6 billion.
That's what I'm saying. Even more though.
Yeah.
Because Bezos or someone else with tons of money might be waiting for all those bids to come in and then just say, just like the Waltons did, an extra $500 million on top to make sure it happens.
For sure. Yeah, that's just crazy to me because the Commanders are a poverty franchise.
Yes, there's no doubt about that.
And they don't have fans.
But they've got a big market.
And their stadium is shit.
Yeah, all of those things are true, but a big market.
And the reason
it's like not that big of a market.
I mean, it is
DC,
though.
yeah.
Like DC is the big reason. And
Right,
I don't
exactly.
know all the reasons why, but whenever
not.
somebody talks about it, it's like, yeah, DC. I think it's just because there's so much money there.
Yeah.
But it's also just transplants, all transplants.
Yeah. But a lot of money.
So they're just like Ravens fans and Giants fans and Eagles fans.
Yeah, but I think Hank's right. It's more about the money and just the spotlight that's in DC.
Plus, like them being a poverty franchise, it's the owner that makes them that way.
No, right.
Like as soon as he's gone,
and that's what
whipping
makes
everything
the
into shape.
stadium bad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can build a stadium.
This is a bad investment. Just telling you.
Wow.
In NFL, I'm never going to say an NFL
No.
team is a bad investment.
Yeah, I mean it's just a toy in the end.
I mean,
I'm just like
just-
the Broncos absolutely should be worth more than the Commanders is what I'm saying.
But
in
I
the
mean,
end.
look at the investment of the Broncos already.
Yeah.
In 8 months after they buy it, it's going to be worth
enough,
$2
fair
billion
enough,
more.
fair enough.
But it is kind of crazy.
But you're right. Broncos should be worth more than the Commanders.
But I was just one ownership sale early on it
it.
going north of $5 billion. Now there'll never probably be a team that goes for less than $5 billion.
I wonder if the Broncos weren't sold last year, what the Commanders' price would be right now. Would it be the 4.65?
Yeah, I think so. I do not understand the increase other than the fact that these massive billionaires are just coming in and just saying like, well, whatever you bid, I'm just going to bid more.
Yeah, because they won. And what seems to be happening is you're getting some sports people wanting to be involved in these. I think one of the groups, Josh Harris, who was involved in the Broncos sale last year, who wanted to become owner of the Broncos, is now involved in this. And you're getting people that want to be involved in the sport itself.
Yeah.
And there's only 32 of these in the world.
Fair enough. I retract my statement that it's a bad investment. It's just a shitty team
It is.
with
It
a
is.
shitty fan base.
Do they have a
and
bad
shitty
fan
stadium.
base?
Yeah, really bad.
Okay, I don't. You would know more.
All of
than I
their
would.
home games against the Eagles are just Eagles home games.
But well, I guess that's part of the fan base is if they've left because of the ownership being so bad.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you just leave because your team sucks, then you're not a good fan.
So, just out of curiosity, like the Cowboys, Jerry Jones bought them for $150 million in 1989. They're worth $6.5 billion now. So he's gotten like 43 times is what they're worth now. If you put that money in the S&P
Basically,
500,
go ahead.
then it would be 28.5 times.
Wow.
So you are significantly being, and that's also the Cowboys.
It's not going to ever go up 150x again or whatever it was.
However,
Also true.
though, if you do the same thing with the Broncos just sold for $4.65 billion. You
Yeah.
take like what Pat Bowlen invested into it, it'd be worth like $5 billion. So crazy enough, like NFL teams are a good investment, but like it's not actually maybe as good as some people think. But
yeah,
in
that's
some
the Cowboys.
cases it can be.
And the Cowboys.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
But like you said, the Broncos, Bolin just puts that money at S&P 500. He's in the same spot.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
crazy. Turns out having a lot of money helps you get more money.
It's true.
That's very true.
That is
yeah.
true.
Yeah. And the Broncos have a lot of money, and it's helping them bring in some money.
It is. And so anyways, back to Javonte. It just sucks, man. Like Javonte was already a fan favorite. He was, on track to becoming, I think, easily a top 10 running back in the NFL.
Yep.
He was one of the few bright spots on the team 2 years ago.
Yep.
And I just keep thinking back to seeing the injury and just thinking like, wow, that's nothing.
Yep.
Especially Twitter doctor saying it's nothing.
Well, and not even
Yeah.
that, just like the injury itself. Like we saw the, I'm going to forget his name. His last name was Lattimore for South Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
And like his knee exploded, but like
It was
you could
obvious.
tell his knee
Yeah.
exploded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Javonte suffered the same injury with it looking like nothing happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe not the same because that dude also broke his leg, I think. But
True.
It was just like those types of everything in your knee injuries are usually so clear that that's really, really bad. We didn't even know.
Yeah.
You could have left that game thinking like, oh, he just sprained it.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. I mean, we weren't sure if he was going to come into the game in the second half after halftime. And unfortunately, in looking, kind of preparing for the worst and hoping for the best, what happened to that running? What's his first name? Why start with an M, right?
No, because you want to say Marshawn Lattimore, but that's not him.
Marcus Lattimore?
Is that?
I
Could
think
be
so.
it.
I thought it started with an M. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so would you look that up just so we don't
I can
talk
never
about the
remember which
wrong
ones.
person forever?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so Marcus Lattimore, what happened to him? Wasn't he the best running back in the country?
Yeah.
Then gets that injury. He was built for an NFL back too, so he was going to be a top pick in the draft. He was going to be a beast.
Yep.
I think he ends up being a 4th or 5th round pick to the San Francisco 49ers. Plays fourth round pick, plays what, 1 or 2 years in the NFL. I don't even think does much, and then he's done because of this injury. And like you said, I think he also broke things. It was worse, but we're talking about a very severe injury. And so that's kind of how I want to prepare.
Yeah.
And it's
It
pretty
sucks.
crazy that, like, so he's drafted in 2012, but he's only 31. Like, that feels like it was forever ago.
Yeah. He's
But
31 right now.
Wow.
He's
That's
yeah,
crazy.
like, he'd still be playing.
Wow.
Oh, 2013 draft.
That's
Wow.
insane. It really does feel like a distant memory.
Yeah.
The better one would be J.K. Dobbins, who suffered a similar injury. And when did he come back?
I'm not sure.
I think
I can check.
Okay. I think his timetable, I'm just guessing, was 14 months. But that's just coming off the top of my head, so it'd be interesting to see what that is. So it's not, Marcus Lattimore is like the worst case of what happened. There are better cases of what happened, but the George Paton quote yesterday just took the wind out of, I think, the sails of hope that Javonte could be back for the start of the season. I never imagined that being the case. And I just have a bad feeling this is going to be one of those ones where they just keep pushing it back and pushing it back. And every time we get an opportunity, like the next time we'll talk to George Paton will be what? Cut day?
A pre-draft.
Oh,
probably.
pre-draft. Okay. So pre-draft, he'll be asked about it again. He'll say probably something similar. Then we'll talk to him. Cut day. And, he'll say that I think there's hope that he can come back this season. It's just going to be one of those things where every time we get a chance to ask about it, it just gets kicked back.
Yep. And there's still the chance that we get lucky. Like, there is still the chance that everything goes well and he's back for the start of the season. And if that's the case, I think the Broncos win a couple more games than if he doesn't play this year.
So let's talk about that. What if he doesn't play? And we'll just lean on the optimistic side of things. Let's say he doesn't play half the season. What's the plan at running back? Is it Samaje Perine as your number one with just help from these other guys?
Really, really quick, just to answer your question about J.K. Dobbins. He got hurt in January of 2021, the very beginning of January. So it was the final game of the regular season of 2020. So the beginning of 2021, he didn't play again until week 3 of the 2022 season.
So he missed a whole season, a whole off season, and then the beginning of the next season.
So he didn't play a game of football for 18 months.
18,
Now,
okay.
Obviously, there was the off season in there where he wasn't able to play because there were just no games.
but if he
I mean,
didn't play in the
that's-
first 3 weeks, then he couldn't have played.
That's very true as well. So 18 months to answer your question.
And I'm pretty sure he then missed more time with like a cleanup thing.
He did. He came back and played 4. Good point, Hank. He came back and played 4 games and then missed 2 more months. And then played 4 games to round out the season.
Again, just looking at his, like, there was also a note about a hamstring thing that happened with that, and I'm not sure what that is. And none of these are really the exact same, unless it's just like the nice simple you tore your ACL and everything else is fine. But
right.
you just don't know. You just don't know. And that's why the good news is running backs are always on the market. You can always find another running back. You can't necessarily always find another running back you love giving the ball to, but, I mean, Latavius Murray, you could sign him now. There's a good chance you could also sign him in July.
Latavius Murray, really quick. Sean Payton, when asked about Latavius Murray, all he said was, quote, "We'll see." George Paton, when asked about Latavius Murray, said, "We'll see. We like Latavius, and we're talking to his representative. So there's a chance that he can return." Latavius, to me, Samaje Perine, Latavius, in terms of
Redundant.
the running style, It's the exact same. And now I think Samaje can do a little
Probably
more.
a little better version.
Samaje?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, younger, probably a little better, a little more explosion, can do more in terms of catching the ball out of the backfield. But in terms of runners, it doesn't make sense. Sure, I'll bring him in as a third running back to spell Samaje a little bit, but I still think you need something else. And Tony Jones Jr., the running back they got last year, I think has like 15 career carries or something like that. Maybe I'm underselling him a little bit, but he's a special teams guy, if anything.
Yeah, that's a lot like the little Jordan Humphrey thing, where it's
Yeah.
like, these are guys who are out there. I know that I kind of liked them. If they can make the roster, great.
Right.
And we'll see. But the thing
The
about
18 months thing really just scares me. And then
yeah,
it seems like he rushed back.
Right. Right.
You know, even if Javonte was on a 15-month timeline, which would be significantly better, obviously,
Yeah.
that's still missing this season.
Right.
playoffs.
Yeah.
Well,
No. Because
To
12
miss-
months would get him back to what, week?
November. Yeah, he wouldn't
Start
be
of
back until
October?
like February.
Oh, really?
So the Super Bowl.
yeah, that is true.
That'd be a
That
6.
would
No, he'd be
wild.
back January because it was like October 4th.
Yeah.
he had
So
3 more?
November, December.
He's back January
Yeah,
4th.
I guess.
Yeah,
January 4th.
Playoffs.
Sure.
But again, that's 3 months faster than J.K. Dobbins,
totally.
who, if Javonte talked to him, would probably say, don't
Right.
rush back.
Yeah,
Right. And if you talk to Terrell Davis, Terrell would say,
Yep.
don't rush back. And at that point, it just wouldn't make sense to me.
I mean, if
I-
you're in the playoffs, I don't know.
If you're in the playoffs, though, what you've been doing has been working. Like, if Javonte is 100% and has been training for 2 months like he's ready to go, then sure, I just feel like you still a little bit would be rushing him back.
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, it sucks to say it, but from the Broncos' perspective, they have him under contract for 34 more games, and every week he's not out there, you don't get that week back, and nobody likes giving a second contract to a running back. Maybe you could convince yourself to give him the franchise tag and get another year. In that case, he's playing really well, though, obviously. But from the team perspective, you know, it's not like you have him under contract for 4 more years and you really need him to be his best. Like, running backs, they're disposable. And it's, again, you feel bad for Javonte being in that situation, but that's why there is pressure to come back and play, because the team has made its investment and the clock's just kind of ticking.
But are you making the case to bring him back like way early, like the beginning of the season in October, or are we just splitting hairs with should he come
Yeah.
back for one game January 4th?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you get to the playoffs and say, is he better than what we have? And if he's better than what you have, it's tough to say we're just going to wait for him to come back next year.
And that's fair. And I hope we're having this conversation because it would mean
Definitely.
the Broncos are in the playoffs. But this isn't a conversation. The Broncos have to have many other conversations
Yep.
beforehand. And Ryan, to answer your question, do the Broncos have to add another running back? Should they add another running back, or are they okay with their $3.5 million running back in Samaje Perine? That's quite an investment in a running back. And to me, this isn't even close. They have to add another significant back.
I completely agree, and that's what worries me about this whole thing is, you know, Derrick Henry was apparently available for trade. They didn't decide to go that direction. Who else just came up? That
Ezekiel Elliott
Yep.
is available.
Zeke is available, and I feel like there was another like top running back that
That was available via trade.
their name just like circulated recently. I don't know why I'm forgetting who it is. Anyways, doesn't feel like the Broncos have been involved in those talks. Doesn't feel like they've been interested in that. And what I don't like, guys, is to invest so much in the running game from a team construction standpoint, but then not
Right.
follow that up with the quality of back that you need. Like Samaje Perine, I like the signing. You know, I gave it the highest grade here, which I think was a B. And to me, I liked that signing because he's like what I believe is a really nice piece to have in your running back room.
Yep.
He can't be your guy.
He's
or at least likely can't be your guy.
No, he's 240 pounds. Find someone outside of Derrick Henry that's 240 pounds. That's in every single down running back. Samaje Perine is a great compliment. And when I gave him a C+ for when they signed him, I said if they add someone else to compliment him, this can go up to an A because he is a good player. He's a great player in the right situation. Being an every down back is something he is not. In the past 3 years, he's played in over 50% of the offensive snaps 3 times. 3 times has he played in over 50% of the offensive snaps. That is not an every down back. That is not your workhorse back. He has had double-digit carries the past 3 years in 8% of games. He is not someone that has been relied on in the past. Does that mean he's not someone that can be a workhorse back? No, but that's a big gamble, especially with, like you said, Ryan, this team is going to be about running the football. If you're about running the football with someone that's a massive question mark, if he can do it and carry that load, I just think you're setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, Austin Eckler and Dalvin Cook were two names that were floated out there.
Has Dalvin been floated out?
I believe so. I want to say we were talking about it, and I was like, well, George Paton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much so.
So, yeah, this is concerning to me, and I guess you could go Zeke, although, again, he's fallen off pretty significantly.
Yeah.
Maybe more of a bigger name than
Yep,
player.
exactly. And then, you can go to the draft.
Yep.
And I think that's probably the most likely route at this point is the Broncos draft a guy with one of their first 3 picks and say, this is a guy we love and he's going to share carries with Samaje.
So let's talk about some of those guys in the draft. But first, got to tell you about our friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook.
Tried to get a take in for like 10 minutes.
DraftKings Sportsbook, you use that promo code DNVR. You're going to get $200 in bonus bets. And now maybe the last time to get Jokic at plus money. Where is he right now at DraftKings? Is
plus
he
105.
Plus
Embiid's plus 110.
105. So Jokic is taking the lead. But if you want to use some bonus bets to get Jokic at plus 105, you can do that over at DraftKings. And like I said, this might be the very last time. You guys were right. You called it that the odds were going to change because of Embiid sitting out last night and then Jokic not just getting a dub, but also
third quarter
doing
triple-double.
Yep, a third quarter
Love
triple-double, doing it in style and ease. So if you want to get in on the Nuggets, you want to get in on the Avs, you want to get in on anything, check out our friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook. We've got Final Four coming up this weekend and the championship game in 6 days. So check them out. Use that promo code DNVR. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700.
Speaking of, we never talked about Alabama just taking that fat L.
Man, it was awful. I mean, Brandon Miller disappeared.
The whole tournament.
In the entire tournament. He had, I believe, a 19% shooting percentage, which is the worst in tournament history for someone that's taken 35 or more shots. He was so disappointing.
Damn.
Wow.
Maybe his conscience was weighing on him.
Maybe. Just seems like we would have been a little overdue for that. Weird time for it to come out once there's finally like a big distraction. But Shady Rays, if you are Brandon Miller and you've been crying a lot and there's just tears flowing, your eyes are all red, get yourself some Shady Rays, Brandon, and nobody will know that is going on. They're great sunglasses. They look good. They're a world-class product. They're very durable. They've got great optics, especially if you're kind of like an outdoorsy type of person. But they don't come at a premium price, and that's one of the many things we love about them. If you lose them, if you break them, Shady Rays will replace them. They're all polarized. Like I said, they don't charge high-end prices, but you really do get a great product. That's why over 200,000 people have given them a 5-star review. And if you go to the Park Meadows Mall or just to their website, you can get 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Again, it's great stuff. If you don't like them, you can return them for free or exchange them within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop with Shady Rays, and their team always has your back.
There we go. Some news coming down the wire right now. NFL teams just allowed the number 0 to be worn. Do you like it?
No, I just align with whatever Coach Prime thinks now, and Coach Prime doesn't like number 0. He said that why would anyone want to wear a number 0? 0 means nothing.
I love it. I love
That's
number
a good
0.
point. Why would you want to wear number 1? That's the lowest number.
No, it
it's
means
worth the least.
you're number 1.
It's the least.
So then,
what about number 2? Because that would be the least. That isn't number 1.
Number 99
Yeah,
would be
that's a
pretty
good question.
bad too.
But that's the most.
Oh,
Yeah.
If we're using the 0 as
wow.
nothing. 99 should be the most desirable.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Soon everybody's going to be fighting over it.
I just don't know who looks good in number 0. Like what position?
Nobody.
No, I mean, I don't know. Anaya Smith wears number
Yeah.
0 at Texas A&M. Looks pretty good on him.
It's those small little guys like that. Like if you were like
Gilbert Arenas.
Yeah.
Gilbert
Agent
Arenas. I'm trying to think like KJ Hamler. No.
I just feel like for small guys, like the 1 is so
Yes.
trim
Thinning.
and thinning,
Yeah.
and so that's a good thing. Like 0, it is
It's a
just
little bulky.
one number, but it's
Maybe
yeah,
for like a big nose tackle.
I would
and
hate
it just
that so much.
it just goes around their belly button pretty much.
No.
I think the Buffs had that. They had this guy. Gosh, what did he call himself? He had his own nickname for himself, like something along the lines of Big Sexy. And I'm pretty sure he wore 0. I don't think it looks good on anyone.
like a corner.
Lloyd
What was
Cushenberry.
Christian Gonzalez? I think Christian Gonzalez rocked it.
Yeah, I think a big guy. I think that's where you got to go.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
no.
I'm trying to think about this. Like, I just don't think I would assign it to anyone on my Madden team. Maybe a kicker.
Oh, punter, just a kicker.
Ooh, the punter. I give him number 0 because that's how many punts he's getting in a season.
Wow.
I like
There
that.
you go.
Oh man, and then you're just gonna get dunked on after the first series of the season, and your punter's out there punting.
We are in week 15 now, and I have
That's
2
true.
punts on the
Oh
season.
my
Wow.
gosh, give me a break.
Wow.
I just throw interceptions.
And only
I don't
7
really punt.
fourth down attempts.
Wow.
So I've only seen 4th down. Oh, I haven't factored in field goals.
Yeah, so you're probably really bad.
Probably.
Really bad at Madden. Okay, Hank, get your take off.
The thing about Samaje Perine is that he is just a really great running back to have as like your second or third back.
Yeah.
Because he can do literally anything. Like we talked about how good he was in pass protection, but obviously he's also like 240. Like if you want to make him your first down guy, your like under center power runner guy, you can do that. If you want him to be your third down guy, obviously you can do that as well. I think Sean Payton brought that up too. Is like there is the versatility there. It's this weird thing where he isn't an every down back because he's never actually been on the field every down,
Right.
but he can do every job you ask of a running back. And I wonder if they do just look for a third down guy, because when you look at the third down running backs that Sean Payton's always had, you know, it's Darren Sproles and Reggie Bush and Alvin Kamara, all these little speed guys, and that is not Samaje Perine.
No.
The other thing is, most third down backs are that way, and so that could be why he went that way, and not necessarily because that's what he wants. It's just because 90% of them are small, quick little guys.
Well, and I think what Samaje gives you is flexibility
Yep.
to be able to go out and get all different types of running backs to be his complement when Javonte is not there. So you can go and get a small speed guy. You could maybe go get more of a in between the tackles guy, although I just hesitate a little bit toward that. But you can go. It's not like you're looking for just one specific type of running back to complement Samaje. So who are some of these guys?
Deuce Vaughn.
Yeah, he's right up there. He's the opposite of Samaje, and just so electric. And then not just as a football player, but you look at him and Sean Payton, you just think, man, this could be a match made in heaven.
Darren Sproles 2.0.
Exactly.
I mean, that's 100% what you think. The parallels are off the charts, all the way down to obviously the college that they went to.
Yep.
But Deuce Vaughn, like, is not just like, I don't want to put this on Earl Boykins and make it sound like he's like not good, because what he did was incredible in the NBA. But he's not like, I don't know how to put this.
Yeah,
He's not just a gimmick.
Okay.
Like, it's not just like, oh my God, he's so tiny. This is great.
Earl was a gimmick.
No, I had an Earl Boykins jersey. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He is a legit prospect. It's not just like a fun story because he's so small.
And so when you say using one of the Broncos' first 3 picks, I think you'd probably have to use one of those in order to get him. With that 4th rounder?
How big is
Maybe like 5'5".
That'll cost him.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, you
You don't
who
think
knows?
people have come
I
around
think
to...
someone somewhere is gonna fall in love, and whether that's enough to get them to use an early day 3 pick on him or not, I don't know. But I think some team is going to say, man, I really want this guy, and I'm not willing to just wait to get him. I think the 4th round is probably his ceiling.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's in the 3rd. So he's 5'5", really, really, really short. I think what people care about a little more is weight. He's 179. KJ Hamler, I know a different position, was right around there when he was drafted in the 2nd round.
Yeah, a better comp would be like, what was that dude who played for the Patriots and the Titans? Dion.
Oh yeah,
Dion
was
Lewis?
it
Dion Lewis.
Yep.
Like how heavy was he? That's like a really tiny running back.
5'8", 195.
So
Significantly bigger.
Deuce Vaughn on an NFL field is gonna look funny.
And there is that one.
Yeah.
There's that one little guy right now.
Why are we
I'm
calling
trying to
them
remember.
little guys?
Because they're tiny. What's he gonna do? Come fight me? No, he's not. Because even like
Deuce Vaughn would fucking wreck you,
like
bro.
even Austin Eckler's 200 pounds. I know that there's one really small guy that I've heard people say like, well, he can do it. So
in the NFL right now?
Darren
I could
Sproles
swear.
probably.
It probably is just Darren Sproles.
yeah.
But again,
See
like,
what Darren Sproles was coming out.
okay. Because the thing about that is like, it's like the Josh Allen thing, where it's like, oh look, he did it. It's like, well, yeah, one person's done it, but how many 176-pound running backs are there?
What I would ask is, how many have even attempted?
True.
Like, has there been these guys that even made it this far in the first place? It's like Deuce Vaughn, by making it this far, might be in a very small
True.
class of players under 5'7" that were
Yeah.
even considered to be an NFL prospect.
Yeah, it's very true.
Darren Sproles came out at 187.
What about
Okay, so
10 pounds.
Real quick, JJ Taylor is
8 pounds.
5'6", 185 pounds.
So he's within 10 pounds.
Yeah.
Sucks.
You could
And,
put on 10 pounds.
That's the smallest running back in the.
And how tall was Sproles? I think he was 5'6".
5'6", yeah.
Okay.
and a comp on NFL.com for him is Jacquizz Rodgers. Remember when he played?
Yep.
He was
Falcons?
5. Yep, exactly. 5'6". Trying to get hit 205 though. It's very different.
a little different. Yeah, I like if they do it, I'll buy in. Like it'd be fun for sure.
Gotta watch his tape.
It's
See,
just oh
I'm-
yeah, definitely I have.
I feel like you're not all in.
no. I mean, what are the odds that guy has can hold on to the football?
Oh,
Like, there's no way he's holding
Henry,
on to the
you're
football.
such an old man viewing this.
Melvin Gordon was huge. He didn't hold on to shit.
Yeah,
Very true.
But you just, I mean,
Oh, Tariq Cohen. How big is Tariq
He
Cohen?
is 5'6", 192, but I wonder what he came out at.
I was gonna say because I think Deuce Vaughn could put on 13 pounds
Yeah.
in a year being in the NFL. So I could absolutely see that. I think this would be
Tariq Cohen did last 3 years.
He weighed in at the combine at 5'6", 179.
hey,
Wow.
there we go.
and he held up for 3 years.
It's about-
Which again is most of your rookie contract.
Yeah.
If you
Right.
draft a guy, if you get 3 years out of Deuce Vaughn, you're saying like, yeah, that went well.
Especially because you're going to be using him a lot this year. And
Mm-hmm.
I'd be okay with using a 3rd round pick on him. It doesn't matter which one because they're just back to back.
When did Tariq Cohen go?
If I think, and I made the case in our roundtable this weekend that running back is the biggest position of need for the Broncos.
Yeah.
I think center, just like you made the case for, is right up there as well. So I'm not going to argue too much about that. But I think running back is that much of a need that if you use a 3rd round pick, you better be getting a guy who you hit on, by the way, if you're using a 3rd round pick. And then you can use a 3rd round pick on a center. Boom, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm going to set the over-under right here on Deuce Vaughn draft position. Tariq Cohen was drafted 119th overall in the 4th round.
Under.
So I'm putting it at the over-under at 118.5.
Take the under.
All right.
I'm trying to do the math. 118,
So it's just at the
96.
near the end of the 4th.
but then there's the comp picks too. There aren't
Right,
many though.
right.
So I'll take the over just for the
Okay.
sake of fun.
I can probably tell
That's
you exactly.
a well set line though.
Where's the Broncos 4th round pick?
I'll definitely take the over.
The Broncos 4th round pick is, I've got it right here somewhere.
Can either of you tell me where Tariq Cohen went to college?
Nope.
No,
North Carolina A&T.
Wow.
definitely could not have told you that.
Do you know where the Draft Network has Deuce Vaughn ranked?
7th round pick.
253. So just outside the 7th. No, that would be just inside. 255 picks, right? Yeah.
The Broncos
He'll
pick
go
is
before that.
Broncos
Yep.
4th round pick is 108.
So there you go. There, if they take him, they hit your under. If they don't,
Yep. This is a guy that I would really like for the Broncos to go after. Who else is in the draft? And we touched on this yesterday. Jerry Jeudy has been in a lot of trade talks. Maybe those things are calming down, but I still think you got to be on your toes with Courtland or Jerry getting traded until after the draft. Let's say they do move Jerry for a first-round pick. Running back could be, with how much they want to run the ball, could be a position that they use a first-round pick on.
that would be people would hate that.
I don't think Bijan Robinson slips to wherever their
No.
first-round pick would be because I don't think they're getting a top
15?
10 pick.
I think he goes.
think he goes
15
right
or
around there?
down. Yeah,
I would take
Okay.
I would take the under, the earlier.
Okay.
the earlier. I'm gonna see if the draft.
he's
If
so
DraftKings
sick.
has a prop on this.
So Bijan is a first-round guy. Jahmyr Gibbs, I think, is definitely a guy that could be right around 15, 25. I think he's going probably
Yes.
right around there.
No, I think
I'd
he's
say end of the first, early second.
I think he's second. Yeah,
Second round?
I'd think second.
Okay.
Which means there's a chance he really falls.
Okay, so then optimistic. If Bijan Robinson's there, you trade Jerry Jeudy. Let's say in the middle of the draft. In the middle of the first round, a team calls.
Bijan Robinson, by the way, is the only offensive player in the draft I would trade Jerry Jeudy for.
Wow.
Okay, well, that was going to be my question. So you would trade Bijan for Jerry.
Yeah, for sure.
Think that's realistic?
I don't.
Semi-realistic?
I don't. I don't think a top 15 team in the draft is going to say we want Jerry Jeudy more than we want this pick.
Fair. Henry, would you trade Jerry for Bijan?
Honestly, I might. I think I would. And part of it does depend on where you get him, because like at 15, you're giving him 4.25 a year. At like, I don't know, you're not trading all the way up to 6 probably, but just for perspective, I mean that's 7.5 per year, which all of a sudden he's probably one of the 10 highest paid running backs in the NFL. So you kind of lose the value. But if you were able to get him around 15, I would do it.
And by the way, Alex saying that, of course, I'm the one to bring up trading a receiver. Ryan was the one to bring this up yesterday. I just thought it was a really good question to bring up again today.
That topic is happening until after the draft, so just get used to it.
It's very true. Would you do it? So you wouldn't do it for Jahmyr Gibbs?
Nope.
No.
I'm thinking probably Quentin Johnston. I would be interested in doing him before.
So then a wide receiver for a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know about Jackson Smith and Jigba. It feels like you would just be restarting the clock on Jerry Jeudy, which maybe they want that clean slate, but I just don't think that opportunity is going to present itself.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's fair. I think that with the way Sean Payton wants to run this offense, I would flip a wide receiver for a damn good running back.
There's no running back draft props yet in terms of where they're going
That's
to
a
go.
shame.
But I will say, to go 5th overall, Bijan Robinson is plus 5,000. So they definitely don't think there's any chance he goes in the top 5. Which
Is there a
makes
top
sense.
10 out there for
Just-
him? Okay.
No.
Draft Network has him as the number 2 overall prospect, which again doesn't factor in
Behind
positional
who?
value.
By the way, the
I don't wonder. I got to check.
DraftKings has Jackson Smith and Jigba at minus 250 to be the first wide receiver taken.
I mean, he's sick.
I feel like you
Will
like Quentin
Anderson.
Johnson more.
I do.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, I've loved Smith and Jigba since the Rose Bowl against Utah, where he put up, I think he had like 400 receiving yards in that game.
Wow.
He's-
How good is Marvin Harrison Jr. going to be? Because
Oh,
this draft cycle, he's already getting like as much buzz as the guys going in the first round this year.
he would be the first one if he went this year.
But like
Easily.
first one, like top 5 pick.
Oh, I don't know about that. We'll have to see what teams are there. But I think we're talking, and you know how I feel about this word, generational wide receiver prospect.
Yep,
Which means I can't use that again until the next generation.
See you in 30
Did
years.
you use it with Jerry?
Probably.
It was a generational wide receiver draft class that we
was.
thought he was the best one in.
I don't think I probably said I could have.
Because it really was not just us, but it was like a generational wide receiver draft class. And then it actually kind of is turning out to be too.
It's absolutely unbelievable how badly the Broncos have fumbled the bag with Jerry Jeudy. the targets is what drives me crazy versus the separation rate. Like you can say, well, doesn't Jerry have fault in this too? There's been some maturity stuff, this, that, the other thing. Remember there was that crazy stat before his 3 touchdown game about how many times they've targeted him in the red zone?
Yeah. It was like 5 times in the past year and a half or something. Yeah.
It's crazy. So I think the Broncos, from just a bunch of different angles, have messed up the Jerry Jeudy pick. I think if Jerry Jeudy and Justin Jefferson just traded places, we would be having similar conversations about both of them.
I can't go that far. I mean, that's the best receiver in the league. Like,
I said similar, not the same. But I think he would be putting up crazy numbers.
For what's worth, Jackson Smith and Jigba in the Rose Bowl last year, 15 catches, 347 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Wow.
And like they played Utah. That was a 48-45 game.
Wait.
So it's not garbage time or anything.
Right.
Oh, that was okay. He's at State, right? Ohio State.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is nuts.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just, it's incredible.
What else is incredible? Our friends over at Backus and Shanker.
So true.
Where they will take a really bad situation and try to make it right for you. And one of the awesome things about Backus and Shanker is, unfortunately, they themselves have been in similar positions. So not only are they great lawyers and they know how to win these cases for you, but they also know how to relate with you when you're going through, whether it's yourself, whether it's a family member, a terrible situation as well. Meeting Kyle was such a great experience. Not only is he clearly very intelligent, knows what he's doing, but very relatable as well. And so if you get hurt, Backus and Shanker is there to help. They win for Colorado families, and they have over 25 years of experience doing this. There's no upfront fee to speak with them. There's no fee while they work on your case, and there's no fee unless they win. And if you need something, help working on your face because something happened to you, you can turn to Backus and Shanker. So give them a call at 222-2222 to set up a consultation. What's the saying? If you're
Get them to work on your face.
If you need to sue, smash that too.
222-2222. They're for car accidents, motorcycles, rideshare, pedestrians, trucks. They're there to help you out if you're hurt at work too. So if you need them, 222-2222.
Why are we okay? There's a lot going on in the comments right now. One, Henry, they're telling us that the corner who Jackson Smith and Jigba was matching up against in that game was actually a backup running back.
No way.
I mean, speaking of which, here's a little transition.
Wait, I'm not done with the comments.
Oh, there's more?
Then someone said the Broncos made Jerry Jeudy lead the league in drop passes. That was 3 years ago.
I know, right?
It was bad. His rookie year was bad. Wasn't Jerry Jeudy 1 and KJ Hamler's 2 in drop passes in the entire NFL?
Yes, and people hate when I say this, but you know who also led the league in drop passes their rookie season?
Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice.
And to Jerry's credit, Jerry Judy's credit, and Jerry Rice's credit, they've both got better since their rookie season. I'm sure Jerry Rice got better, and Jerry Jeudy has as well. And Jerry Jeudy did have one awful game, which really hurt, which is included.
What was it, like 6 in one game?
I think 5.
It was like the last game.
No,
wasn't that the last game?
It was
Chargers game.
It was in the last month.
Yeah.
When they would have beat the Chargers. But Jerry has got better with that.
I mean, exponentially better.
Yeah.
So anyways.
Going back to my little transition thing, my favorite running back in the draft, Roschon Johnson from Texas. Bijan Robinson's backup. So he was an All-American quarterback, like dual threat quarterback. Went to Texas. All their running backs got hurt. His freshman year, he had to play running back.
He's Taysom Hill.
I was gonna say,
this
had Sean Payton written all over it.
It goes for like 649 yards, 5.3 per carry. Again, at Texas, which is pretty impressive that he's even on the field.
Yeah. Is he a senior?
Yes.
Okay, I was gonna say, I wonder why he's coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just stay.
And so then Bijan comes in the next year, so he's the backup running back. Never has 100 carries in a season again. But 5.2 yards per carry, 5.9 yards per carry, 6 yards per carry. Like former quarterback.
6 yards per carry this last season?
Yeah.
Ooh.
He's nasty. And you watch him run and you're like, oh my goodness. Because he's 6'2", 223. And he did run a 4.58 at the combine, which was disappointing. But, I mean, it's not the end of the world for a big
Running back
back.
40s really don't matter, in my opinion.
And
unless you're like a big, like your thing is you're a big play threat.
Right.
Yes. But he is big and he's sick and he checks all the boxes. He kind of reminds me of like Miles Sanders, who is Saquon's backup. And I think if he had played somewhere else, we'd be like, oh my God, this guy's awesome. He's going for 1,000 yards a year. But
former
he's like a
quarterback
fifth,
thing
sixth round thing.
is what's getting me going.
It's awesome.
Because I think that's going to get Sean Payton going. And I have a feeling Sean Payton would love to take Russell Wilson off the field.
Where is he projected to go?
The Draft Network has him at number 126 as a prospect.
Okay.
So because of positional value, probably drops down even
I
further.
mean, think of this. Sean Payton had no problem taking Drew Brees off the field to play Taysom Hill and like run Taysom Hill packages out there.
Yep. And I think we got to be prepared for the Broncos to take someone like this, and that could be a great guy to start looking at.
He's sick. And I do I mean, the Broncos are going to draft a running back. Like, I think that's just a guarantee at this point.
Yep.
Question just whether they sign another.
Is there a Taysom Hill-esque quarterback in this class?
It is yes, there is. The Broncos met with him.
Oh, the
Penn State
kid, Sean Clifford.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Oh, I guess he could kind of be that way.
Yeah.
Wasn't he the one that went viral for having like a snappy arm motion too? Or was that a different
I don't
Penn
know.
State quarterback?
I don't remember.
I don't know.
But I think he's big, and not known as well for being a thrower, but other things. He's got other traits.
He's awesome. I mean, I never really thought of him as. I mean, yeah, I guess you could draft him and just say he is Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
It wasn't him. Some other. Oh wait, maybe not. Someone tell me in the comments. There's this kid who's like a backup quarterback at Penn State, but like there's this TikTok of him just throwing, and he just had this like insanely quick like whippy arm motion, and everyone lost their. It might have been honest. Did Will Levis transfer from somewhere to Kentucky?
He did.
Was it Penn State?
I don't know where he
Okay.
was from. Man, you're asking a lot of good questions.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, it's impressive.
And he asked them like we know.
Right.
I'm
Did
just
he go
hoping
there?
that you guys know.
He did go Penn State.
Okay,
Transferred.
all right.
Yeah,
So that was,
there you go.
That's
Wow.
hilarious. That was him.
Also,
Man, people are gonna fall in love with that then.
Oh, they already have. Didn't you see? I might have been Tommy P, who put out like a video of him throwing and was like, "This arm motion looks really familiar," and it was like looked just like Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers, yeah. Maybe the Packers will draft him this year. Speaking of players, should we get into our March Madness bracket?
Oh, baby.
Oh,
we
wow.
have big
Not
time
as toxic
developments.
as we thought it
Yeah,
would
so
be.
true.
We weren't canceled
Actually,
over it.
yeah, exactly. Alex Singleton had fun with it.
He did, yes.
Yep. Sadly, his mom retweeting the poll did not help him.
When I saw
But we
that,
do
I was
love
like,
Kim
there's-
Singleton.
Yes, we
We
do.
do.
We absolutely do. Okay, should we get into these matchups? Yeah, here, any chance we can zoom in on these?
So we are on to the Elite Eight.
We are on to the Elite Eight, and
I
shall we?
don't know these winners, so I'm excited.
no,
to
neither
find
do
out.
I.
Okay, well, I'm gonna let you guys guess.
Okay.
As we go through this. So
Well, it's already up. Oh
No.
Oh, he's gonna fill it in. Okay.
yeah. Okay, so who do you think won between number 1 seed Pat Surtain and number 16 seed Courtland Sutton?
I think Courtland Sutton got as much percentage of the vote as Pat Surtain's seed.
Wow.
That is pretty spot on. Did you know that?
I just knew it after like an hour.
Pat Surtain got 98.7% of the vote.
Oh my goodness.
So Pat, clearly we were right choosing
Also-
him as the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Someone tried to snitch tag Courtland Sutton in this.
Wow.
Wow.
And we don't know how Courtland may have said it's up and it's stuck, and we would have been like, don't
Oh,
know if
no.
that's good or
Could have been
bad.
about us.
That's good or bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or he might have said like, "I just want to go where I'm loved and appreciated."
it's
So
very
true.
true. Oh boy, could you imagine if we were the reason?
We got him top 16. That's
Yeah,
a great
it's true.
compliment.
Yeah.
16 seed had no chance. Like, you could have put anybody there.
Yeah, literally.
It's true. That's why maybe at the end, Pat Surtain gets like 90% of every vote that he's in.
Ooh. I mean, he's never dropping below
I would
90.
take the over on him getting 89.5% in
Yep.
each. round.
Easily.
89.5.
But it is
Well,
going to probably come down to him versus Justin in the final, and
Yeah.
Justin has
He has
soldiers.
sway.
He does. He really does. And
Wow.
here's who Pat's going to be going up against in the next round. Number 8 seed DJ Jones going up against number 9 seed Quinn Miners. Who's your prediction?
I'm going to take Quinn.
Okay. What I'll say is this
ah.
one was the second closest race
I
we
believe
had.
it. I'll
I
take
shouldn't have done.
I'll take Quinn. It's tough. I feel bad taking an offensive lineman. It feels
He's
like
taking
wrong.
Quinn, I'm switching to DJ because everyone just thinks the entire Broncos offensive line is bad.
It was
That's-
DJ.
Ah.
51.6% of
Wow.
the vote. Very, very close. But DJ Jones wins out. And the fun one about this one is they go up against each other in training camp.
They do.
And they're really going to be going up against each other this training camp because there's going to be tackling.
I love
And
Quinn.
because they're going to be pitted against each other because of us. They
Yes,
need to prove themselves
it's true.
against each other. in
I have
particular.
been stripped of my Darren Williams Good Guy Award vote because I don't go to the facilities much anymore.
Thought there was some drama.
No. But if I had one, I would have voted for Quinn Miners because of all the interviews that I did, which was not many.
Yeah.
He was my favorite
I
Wow.
think, has an offensive player won it?
this year, I think.
Yeah. Oh, Teddy Bridgewater won it last year, and then Dalton this year. So yeah,
Has
they
a
have.
defensive player won it?
Every year
Hey.
until
Oh,
last
wow.
year.
Yeah,
it was-
yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, you're right. Now we're on a streak
Yeah.
of offensive guys. Yeah, Quinn's will probably win it sometime.
I love Quinn.
Yeah, well, everyone loves Quinn. Also, everyone loves Alex Singleton. Do you guys think he pulled off the upset as the 13 seed going up against the number 4 seed?
I do not.
This is one that I followed because I really wanted Alex to win, even though I love Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
I love Alex more, but he just didn't have the firepower.
Going up against Jerry Jeudy, who I think fans love even more right now because they don't want him to leave.
Yeah.
I think Alex Singleton did a good job.
I think if he would have campaigned, he could have won.
I think so. Jerry won this with 72.2% of the vote.
Yeah. He could have swung 20% by just quote tweeting it and being like,
I think so too.
I got to take down. Like, he would have said something funny. He wouldn't have been like,
Right.
please vote for me. you know?
Right. Yeah. But Jerry moves on. Not a surprise there. A classic 5-12 matchup. Zach Allen going up against Tim Patrick.
I'm going to guess that Tim pulled the upset here.
Okay.
I think it's Tim. Again, I mean, it's a lineman. Nobody's voting for a lineman.
Tim Patrick did pull off the upset. 58% of the vote.
We love an
Wow.
upset.
And now
do.
look at this matchup we got going on next. Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick.
Oof.
We'll preview these later in the
ooh.
week, but that is a
Wow.
good one.
Wow.
Wow.
So
That's
two
fun.
of the 3 receivers that made it went on.
Wow.
The next round, now facing each other. Number 2 seed Justin Simmons going up against the Bash Bro Josie Jewel 15. Was an upset
Ben Bro
had.
versus Bash Bro.
Yeah. There's no way. This has to be Justin.
Is this the second biggest blowout?
It is the second biggest
Yeah.
blowout.
As it should be.
The number 1 and the number 2 seed held up 95% of the vote for Justin Simmons. So neither of the Bash Bros made to the second round.
Sad.
Sad.
That's okay. They were
An
both in it,
appearance
though.
is impressive. Yeah.
It's very true. All right, now we have the 7 seed Ben Powers going up against the 10 seed Garrett Bowles, and this this was an important one for us because I thought Ben Powers should have been the highest rated offensive lineman. You made the case that Garrett Bowles should be
Yep.
above Ben Powers.
Yep. I think my final case was Miners first, but yeah,
That's
I did
true.
have Bowles. And again, it is just a tough one because the thing about Bowles is just the holding.
Innocent until proven guilty. Ben Powers won this.
Exactly. That's what I think.
He did.
Yeah.
58.3%
Wow.
of the vote. You're right. The unknown.
Yeah.
And
he's
the-
never given up a sack or had a holding for the Denver Broncos.
And he's coming off a great year, and that's all Broncos fans want to focus on is like, okay, what's the good we're getting in this guy? And the good is really good, and it's the most recent.
Pretty much the way the offensive linemen work within a fan base is they start with a 100 grade,
Yep.
and they can only go backwards.
True.
Now maybe they get like a clip from like an O-line
Angry
guru
runs.
who
Yep.
like throws it out on Twitter and is like, "Wow, look at Ben Powers absolutely mauling down this corner." They can pick up like 2 or 3 points from that.
Yep.
But pretty much you just go backwards from the day you get there until
Yep.
the day you look at Mike McGlinchey. The
Yep.
perfect example of a guy
Yep.
who's actually good at football. But he only got minus points because that's how it works as
Yep.
offensive lineman. And eventually Niners fans actually decided they hated him.
Yeah.
Man, I could see Ben Powers or another offensive lineman getting a couple bonus points this year from a fired up Matt McChesney video.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah. It's gonna be tough for Powers to get past Simmons though. I think he
No
might have had a
shot.
chance
No
in
shot.
a different region, but
Yeah.
he's
Fair.
not.
That's a good point.
He's
It'll be
getting-
interesting.
It's a tough draw.
Over 85% for Justin.
All right, the 3 seed. Wait, we have 2 3 seeds going up against. No, 3 seed going up against a 14 seed. Javonte Williams, Russell Wilson. On this one, we did have the little what's it called?
Asterisk?
Asterisk, which said if both players are fully healthy, because both of them obviously dealing with injuries. So you have to take that into account here.
It's gotta be
it's
Javonte.
This also came out right when we found out about Russell Wilson's additional injury. So maybe people are willing to give a little more to Russ.
What was the new Russ injury?
The surgery.
It was the knee surgery, the knee scope, which George Paton said there's no concern on their end about.
Me too.
Okay. Javonte, I think, probably won
Has to
comfortably.
be. I think pretty comfortably.
Javonte Williams won comfortably, 67.5% of the vote.
I would have expected even wider margin.
Worst thing for the Broncos.
It was so interesting seeing the responses to this one. Some of the people were like, Russell Wilson's only 14. You guys are crazy. How is he not in the top 10, top 5? And then a lot of people also said, how is Russell Wilson on this? How is he in the top 16?
I guess that means they're probably right.
Yeah. He probably had to be on here, especially for projecting this year. He's had one awful season,
Yes.
and it was an awful season, but 1 out of 10 is, you get the benefit of the doubt. And
I can't believe we left Brandon McManus out.
I was actually afraid of he was going to be the one player to like respond to this being like, what the hell? How am I not on here?
That would be
And we
hilarious.
avoided it.
Speaking of which, I've got a Brandon McManus update
Oh.
when we get done with this.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, hit me with it now.
Right
I feel
now?
like I need it.
He was at the Nuggets game last night.
No, he is upset about the new rules about numbers.
Oh, give me a
In particular, so punters and kickers can now wear 0 to 49, 90 to 99. He
Wait.
tweeted, "Boo,"
Wow.
and I agree. And I mean, also the
What
fact
are we? What don't we want here? What are we avoiding?
Does he want to wear 50 to 89?
kickers should be 1 to 19.
You know,
How
why
do you know
would
that's what
anyone
he's saying?
care?
I mean,
they gave him more opportunities.
that's why they're changing all the rules now. But no, I think
Like it's
just
gonna
dumb.
bother you seeing a kicker that wearing like 55.
When I start working here and started watching college football, I was like, oh my god, this is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen.
Oh,
These
so you
kickers are
agree
wearing
with
like,
B-Mac.
oh, I totally do. The worst
You
one though.
grew up a Montana fan. Don't act like the first time you ever watched college football
But
was
again,
when
like,
we hired
it's
you to cover
different.
the Buffs.
It's different. I mean, because I don't even. I can't remember what number Dan Carpenter was, but wow, I'm a bad fan. Also, the first time a quarterback shows up, like if Bryce Young just decides I'm wearing number 0 now, I'm gonna be so pissed.
Oh, I'd love that.
It's gonna be so disgusting.
You know,
Love
okay,
it.
I figured out who should wear number 0.
Okay.
Someone that has multiple O's in their last name.
Oh, yeah.
Just like that.
I like that a lot.
Wow, Carpenter was 29.
So yeah,
So
especially
that's
if their
like-
name
Yeah.
starts with an O.
It's really true. Then you totally buy into the brand.
Yeah. Like, what's the last name that starts with an O?
I don't even know. OJ Mudia.
There you go.
Oh,
There you go. That would be sick. Especially if his first name was like Omar.
Oh, yes. Omar OJ Mudia. We just
Yes.
put together 2 former
Wow.
defensive backs of the Broncos.
There you go. There you go. Oh yeah, Omar Bolden.
Yep.
That would work too.
Yep. Oh, man, I like that.
Okay, that's my new rule. Only people with
Wow.
O's
And
as
it's
one
pretty
of their
unique.
initials. Yeah.
So, yeah, that works.
All right.
I like it. Okay. And then the final seeding, we had number 6, Randy Gregory, going up against 11, Mike McGlinchey. My hint to you guys is this is the closest race we had. In fact, it was so close that the final vote was 50-50. But Twitter tells me who had more, but
Oh,
doesn't
right.
tell me
What the
like it
percentages
wasn't
were.
even 50.1, 49 point.
I think you can see it on desktop.
Okay.
Henry, you want to pull it up?
Wait, first
Yes.
Henry, you have to guess. McGlinchey or Randy Gregory?
gotta be McGlinchey.
I'm
No,
in-
I've got. I'll take McGlinchey. Honeymoon phase.
Yep, he has a 100 score still. I saw some weird anti-Randy Gregory sentiment out there.
Really?
In response to our poll.
About injuries or what?
Just like LMAO, Randy Gregory is even in this. Like, what are we talking about? I'm like, that's crazy talk.
That is when he's healthy, which is what we're basing this off. He's really damn good.
Yep.
He is really damn good.
You guys are right though. Randy Gregory lost this one. Mike McGlinchey won it. Do you know the numbers specifically?
I'm not getting decimals.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's 50% to 50%.
50-50.
Interesting. I thought maybe desktop would show it.
Wow, and Henry voted for Randy Gregory. He voted for the loser.
So let me just say
I
that
think I also voted for Randy Gregory.
that one was an actual real vote, but in any of them that seemed like a wide margin, I did just kind of vote for the underdog because I felt bad. Because remember, there was at one point where Courtland Sutton had
0 votes.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you got to like 0.8% or
and I
something.
screenshot it and sent it to you guys.
And I said that was my vote.
I'm the one.
that was me. That was me.
So I'm happy with the way this turned out. We had some upsets.
Good matchups, upsets.
Yeah,
True March Madness.
I can't wait to preview this.
So there's this
later in the
website
week.
called howmanyofme.com where you can type in any name and it'll tell you how many of that person there are in the United States.
Did you look up Omar Ojemudia?
I tried, but the website's now defunct. I used to love this thing when I was like 12. Yeah, from 2008. Top 3 most common names. Yeah, so I can't tell you how many Omar Ojemudias there are.
Dang.
What about Omar Olubode? That's a common last name.
Wow.
I had not heard that one.
But is the website
No,
totally?
I shouldn't say
unfamiliar
common,
with that
but
name.
I've heard it multiple times from
Omar
different people who aren't
Olubode,
related.
who's wearing number 0. I like
He's
it.
sick.
You know what else is sick? If you want to go see Randy Gregory, Mike McGlinchey in person, go to Game Time. Check out Game Time where you can get the best
You
seats.
could actually see them go head to head without using Game Time, but if you want to see them play for the same team,
Very true. It's very true. Check out Game Time. You want to go to a Nuggets game? You want to see the back-to-back-to-back MVP?
Wow.
Check out Game Time. You want to get in on playoff tickets? Game Time is the place to check out. And of course, wait until the
Yep.
last minute when the game prices will be the best, and Game Time's going to be able to hook you up. When you wait, you can get up to 60% off by just waiting. I love their interface too. Click on the link in our description in YouTube, or if you're listening on podcast side, it's in our description as well. And it shows you exactly what your seats are going to look like. You can pick out all the other different seats. You can have the all-in price. So you don't have to be worried about paying another $100 in fees like other places do. Nope, you're going to see the price that you're paying right then if you click on the all-in. So check out our friends over at Game Time. Click on the link in our description if you want to go to any Colorado sporting events or really any shows, venues, anything around the country.
love it.
Also, shout out to our friend Steve, who we were outside the arena buying tickets, just refreshing Game Time like 10 minutes before tip-off. And he was like, wow, you guys really do wait until right before the game. I was like, yep, we do, because that's how you do it. Because we got in for, I think it was like $60 for the first row of the upper level.
Wow.
Those were going for like 130, 120 before the announcement.
Yeah, well, they went down again when the Harden news came out, which was
Yeah.
really late.
Yeah, exactly.
Dang.
Love
That's why
that.
you
Was
wait.
Steve the one who was with D-Line?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Is there another Steve?
A lot of Steves.
There are.
You should check out how many of me.
Let's see.
There
How many-
would be 400 million.
400 million Steves?
How many Steves do you think?
Oh my God. How many people are in the United States? In
330
Canada?
million.
Oh wait,
This is just America, I
guess
believe.
It's just America. Definitely not 400 million. I'll go. I'll
worse.
go. There's 6.5 million Steves.
I'm going to go 5 million Steves.
491,000 Steves.
Oh wow,
I guess we should have thought that through more.
not that many Steves.
Steves
then.
can't be like 3% of the population.
Well, I kind of thought they would be.
Everywhere you go, just more Steves.
Way too many Steves.
Is that the most common name?
No,
No way.
no,
Bill,
Steve is
Bob,
not.
What is the most common name?
Bob.
Oh wow, I was just on this page and I was like, no, this is just nonsense. Nobody wants to hear. I was about to ask, like, what do you think the most common name is? Oh, those are car names. I was like, Martin. There's top 20 last names.
Most common car name?
Last name ending.
Yeah, that one.
People name their car.
Oh, first names.
Is that what we're talking about?
Oh, do you want to guess?
I'm going Bob.
There's
Robert is number 4.
Number 4. Okay.
This is male and
names?
female.
Oh.
Mary.
Yeah. Elizabeth.
Number 6 is Mary. Elizabeth, not in the top 20.
Oh.
Christopher, not in the top 20.
We're playing that game. What is that game where they do this?
Family Feud.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah. So you said Mary.
Joseph?
That's a good. Yeah, you got to go with the
Number
religious
11.
names.
Oh my God. Religion's falling off.
No, I mean, you get to these top couple, and that's a spoiler.
No.
You
no.
said
not
you
in the
said
top 20.
Mary, right?
I said Mary and Joseph.
Wow.
Yep,
That's a
6 and
smart
11.
place to start.
Yeah.
And just in America.
This is America, yes.
I'm running out of ideas.
Oh, come on. These are not tough.
Jack?
Short for John, which is number 1.
No,
There you
that's
go.
not.
Isn't it?
Jack is not short for John.
Yes, it is. Yes, it
No.
is.
It can't be short for, but it could be a nickname.
Yeah, Jack comes from John.
Is that why Jack Elway, John Elway?
That's exactly why.
But those are totally different names.
Hank and Henry.
But Hank's at least a little shorter than Henry. At least it's
a
one
letter.
shorter.
But
I
Jack
thought
and
Jack was
John
short
are.
for Jackson.
I mean, I guess it
Yeah.
could be that too.
John. How did we not come up with fucking
Yeah,
John?
John's.
I mean,
yeah.
Jack is, yeah, there you
What's
go.
number 2?
James.
Dude, it's a French.
James.
Yep.
From a French name.
Again,
Jacques.
Yeah, Jock.
Jack is short for John. John is the nickname.
Jack-
Jack
be
is
short
not
for-
short for
Okay,
John.
Jack is.
That's a French name.
You guys don't know names.
It also can't be short for. It's the same length.
Yeah, look at it. Where does the name Jack come from? Jack is a derivative of John that originated in medieval England.
Wow.
This is something else. I'm learning a lot.
Yeah,
Jack comes on John.
I'm teaching a lot.
What? You hear? What?
James. How did it? John. That one really pisses me off.
My brother's name is James. I should have known that. Calvin Ridley's going to wear number 0.
That's just.
Is that in reference to how many more times he's going to bet on football? Or how much money he won on those parlays?
How worth it was to bet. Yeah, a lot of regrets there. Comments?
Sure.
Talk to the people.
Wait, James in Brazil is Thiago.
What?
That's what Broncos Brazil says.
I mean, I definitely trust it.
I also
yeah.
trust him. He seems like he would know.
Someone that
Question mark behind it too. So
Maybe not as convincing then. Huh.
don't trust the internet, boys.
no, I trust.
Zach
Alright.
is short for numbies. It absolutely is. You are right on that. Okay, comments?
Yes.
First one, we've got one, a super chat. I believe if our producer will pull it up for us. Thank you here. Jacob says, hey guys, I missed the stadium conversation the other day. What about a Walton Kroenke collab? Demolish Elitch's, build a new ball arena, new Mile High, and a full entertainment district around them. See, if the stadium is going to stay downtown, I think it has to be where Elitch's is, because I just don't think there's enough room where the current stadium is because they're not just going to build a stadium. They're going to build a whole entertainment district. Now, you can convince me with Elitch's. Okay, that I can go there. Then you have the entertainment district. Then it's also connected to ball. I don't really think you need a new ball, do you?
You're getting there.
It's a perfect arena.
It's a little old. Like
I think
it's
you
great
can
for
keep
hockey.
it.
For basketball, you need to. Like, there's some rough seats way up at the top.
You just said the other night that you sat in the very
Yes.
last row and you thought it
know.
was a great view.
No, I said it was fine. Like, I would rather be there than at home, which was my surprise. It does get kind of rough up there. I do think that there's ways to improve.
Please, Yaya, cut the clip of him talking about how great the
All right.
seats were right up
All right.
against
Very
this.
true. It's very.
There we
Henry
go.
just wants all
That's
new
fair.
things.
No,
Roller
that's
coaster
fair.
Hank.
That is fair.
Full
force.
effect.
That is fair.
Within what, a 48-hour period?
Yep, that is true. That is.
Boy, I'm
Yep.
happy I had you to back me up there.
Yeah. There's room for improvement.
And isn't Elitch's? Haven't they been thinking about tearing it down forever?
Yeah, but not to build a stadium, to build more apartments, because that's what
Yeah.
we need in Denver.
Yeah,
I mean, it
very true.
actually is. There's a housing crisis.
Okay, well then why don't you just tear
There's
down,
a housing crisis, not an apartment crisis.
build housing or apartments where the current
it's not.
stadium is?
What are you
Tear down the
talking
current
about?
stadium and build them there.
Sure, yeah.
Yes, and then there we go.
A housing crisis does not mean there's whatever.
I
Housing doesn't mean house. Housing means where you live.
This is how that's like plan. This is terrible podcasting because nobody else can see it. But it's like a 25-year plan that they started last year.
So I'm fully in on any idea that keeps the stadium in downtown, and fully
Yep.
out on every idea that moves it out.
and
the-
honestly,
your idea.
being on the other side of the highway would be such a big win.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like, because the length of the walk from like there to there, it isn't even like it adds another 5 minutes on, but it feels so much closer.
What
Yeah.
sucks is that like downtown Denver, like everything in 2023 has been politicized, and there's a lot of people who are now just like anti the city.
Yeah.
And so there'll be a lot of support for moving it out of the city.
I could not believe when that survey came out and we're on Twitter putting things out, the reaction of how many people wanted it to move out of the city.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I thought it was just an easy thing to all agree on.
I think it's mostly those out of towners who, like, I understand
Like
the appeal.
who,
Like,
Henry? Who are these out of towners?
I live here now, but my dad, for example, if he were to come to a game, might be like, yeah, let me just fly right in, right next to it.
Your
Stay
dad
at the Broncos hotel. It
It's
sounds
way
like an
too
awesome
cool
place.
to think that.
He's also a Denver guy, so he would probably be against
Yeah,
that too.
yeah.
But he's close to the right example. The only issue with that is like
No, it's the people who live in like Castle Rock.
there's some of that too.
Yeah.
Yep.
That don't
And-
want to come into the city. And,
Yeah. I mean, I literally had an interaction with that exact person this weekend.
The tough part about the collab though is that all this land is owned by the Cronkies, and like where the Broncos are, that's actually owned by the stadium district, and so the Walton Penner group doesn't actually own any land, and so like maybe the Cronkies are just like, hey, yeah, like
Sell you a chunk of this
we'll
land.
sell you a chunk and we'll split it. Would seem like that would be bad business. Maybe for some reason, maybe they say, oh, if that keeps you right there, if that keeps the Broncos right there, that will lead to enough more business.
Ooh.
For the stadium to fit in LHA, you would also have to buy like the children's museum, so if it's all right there, because LHA is not big enough land.
Oh, yeah, you're tearing it all. You're buying it all.
Yeah.
And that's what I was gonna say about
See
you
you,
saying.
children.
Well, that's what I was gonna say about you saying there's not enough room where it currently is. Like, no, they'll just like buy people out of their 100-year-old homes.
I mean, there are places that
Sadly.
you could do that. Which again, you're totally right. It's sad, but I almost wonder, and this would be great if I was screen sharing. If you do put the Broncos
good
stadium
visual.
like right next to ball.
Yeah, exactly.
So that you
can
could
fit it in right there.
and then you even share the parking lots
Yeah.
because it's so rare they're both in use.
Yep. That's
Like-
what the Eagles and 76ers and Flyers do.
Because right now, like, because then you could just keep building your whatever district all the way onto the land. You need the city to be willing to sell that land, but if they're willing to sell it and in exchange you keep the stadium downtown, there's a way to do it.
Yes. Also,
There's-
bringing the Broncos closer to
Yeah,
actual
would be
downtown would be
way better.
fantastic.
Yeah, and also, I mean, there's like 17 people running for mayor. There's no way anybody's getting more than like 10% of the vote just based on the math. Maybe I need to run. I could pitch this. I could get it done.
I
Wow.
swear to God, if you were a single issue, I'm a single issue voter.
Exactly.
Keep the stadium in downtown.
Also, the Denver Coliseum might be big enough area where they're still remodeling right by Rhino leads right down there to Lodo. All that area.
That would be cool. I would be into it, but the Coliseum is not a big enough area for that.
But there's also a Coca-Cola factory there. That's not
There's also a highway
Also, where is
that you
it?
couldn't move.
Also, I think this is.
I guess you could just bow it out.
I just don't think it's.
Yeah.
I hope this can happen. I'm
It
not
would be
optimistic
awesome.
about it.
I agree.
I'm not either because of what I was just saying about how people are like
Yeah.
anti-Denver now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy
And
enough.
The crazy thing is, though, if you built all of the development stuff like out where the Broncos are and move that stadium in, all of a sudden, like everything downtown grows in a way that doesn't seem
Yeah.
like it's even possible to grow.
Yeah, it's like more connected.
Exactly. And then I guess I don't know. It'd be cool. It'd be really cool.
It would be. It would be. All right, let's hit some questions on the website. Nash Broncos says, "Can we please talk about trading receivers again?"
Ooh, yes. Don't do it unless you get top 15 pick for Jerry or a second for Court.
There we go.
I'd do a third for Court.
Yeah.
Wow. Doesn't need to be a prime third, like a top 5 third?
Yeah, top 5 third.
Okay.
Heart of the draft.
So
Sweet spot.
what were we hearing about Court's value? Did we ever hear Court's value before Kliss put it out on Sunday?
No.
I think maybe the Broncos were getting like fourths for Court. And then the Broncos are like, let's see if we can get a third. Let's put out that we're asking for a second and see if we can get a third at some point for Court. Because we hadn't heard a number. They're not going to get a second for Court.
People are saying like a third for DeAndre Hopkins right now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which the Cardinals would be idiots to do that.
If not even less.
Yeah.
The teams want to get it down to the Brandon Cooks price, which is a fifth and a sixth.
Why don't the Broncos and Cardinals just trade wide receivers straight up
Definitely should. Unless the Cardinals just don't want to take on any cap of anyone.
on wide receivers?
Yeah.
Can you let them know my mic doesn't work?
Yaya says his mic doesn't work, which means you're not allowed to talk.
Which also means, aren't you a producer who should know how to fix the mic?
Oh my God.
Nobody can hear what you're saying.
Okay, 2 quick questions. True Champ Fan 24 says, my people's not Broncos related today, but Jokic really quick. As you know, I'm a Jazz
really
fan,
quick.
so I don't what?
He is really quick.
Roman. As you know, I am a Jazz fan, so I don't really care all that much about the Nuggets, but I do hate Embiid for the way he dodged Rudy Gobert for a few seasons during Rudy's Defensive Player of the Year
He's
runs.
dodging everyone?
I mean, that's all he
Yes.
does is dodge. He doesn't play any games.
I think Jokic needs to stop, quote, padding stats,
Oh my
and for the
God.
rest of the season,
Oh
just
boy.
drop 50 burgers the rest of the way, since points are the only thing casuals can comprehend when it comes to basketball.
Wow,
He
this
did
is
put
good
padding
stuff.
in quotes. The whole Embiid versus Jokic debate is as simple as Embiid scores more points. He's gooder than a guy who scores less points. Love y'all, Stu.
Movement.
Yep. There has been a slight
Plus
Put it
105. Embiid now plus 115.
Which
I
is
think-
back.
Down from plus 110 from where we started.
Ooh.
Embiid has gone from minus 180 to plus 115 in 24 hours.
What a loser.
By deciding not to play.
Man,
At the
this is-
same time that he drops a ridiculous piece.
What I will say is if they had played and Yoke, had a 30-point triple-double and won,
Yeah.
this would be more dramatic. So maybe Embiid played it right.
Yeah,
It's true.
that's true.
Also,
But when
I
he
don't know if I
did
can-
when he didn't play, he gave it as more of a possibility that what happened last night would happen.
yes. And the biggest thing for me is that the most games he can possibly play is 68. And not since 1978 has a player played less than 70 games and won MVP. The last one to do it was Bill Walton. I think I said yesterday it's never been done, but anything, since 1978,
That's a long
basically
time
never
ago.
been done.
Yeah. Never in our lifetime.
And I think he has to sit out the next game too to prove that he
optics.
wasn't just ducking Jokic.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So now he's down to 67, which is
Yeah.
almost 20%. That's 15
Yeah.
games.
And I think at that point, that's
Yeah.
where he would tie Giannis for games played, if they both play out.
I think
Because
it ended
Giannis hasn't
last night.
played
How many
less than
has
Embiid.
Jokic missed? Or how many is he eligible to play?
He's already played 67, so
67,
he's
yep.
going to play. If he plays the rest of the games, he'll play 74.
Okay.
And by the way, we are due for an ESPN straw poll to drop. And basically, whatever happens in that straw poll will decide the MVP, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because it's the last one.
Yep.
And the thing is, it's very rare that the MVP race is close. Typically, the votes are 70-30, and that's even a pretty close race. So by the end of the season, we should have a pretty good idea who it's going to be.
Yeah.
We won't get our money until May.
Right.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I mean, I think whatever this straw poll says is probably what's going to happen, and the odds will shift insanely to whoever wins that.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
I just
Hopefully
can't
it's good
believe
news.
that it went down this way. I
know.
honestly don't care
I
because
know.
I got to get my tweets off all night.
Yeah, it
and
was
I
so
had a
fun.
great time. But it's just so lame that it went down this
It's
way.
so true. Could have been such a good game last night.
Yeah, and like I said, Embiid goes out there and balls again, and the Nuggets lose that game last night. I'm just saying, congratulations, you're the MVP. Good job.
Yep. Right. It would have been easier to swallow.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
he did it. He deserved it.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And last comment coming in from our friend True Champ Fan 24 again says, "Can't get my super chat to load. I hate going by Steve, so that's why I roll with Stu."
Yes.
Too many Steves. Stu is dope.
So many Steves.
And I think we have a new DNVR Broncos listener, Jasm. Says,
Yes.
DNVR, I'm a Falcons fan. Do y'all think the Broncos will be better next season?
So Jays
Yes.
is in the Buffs chat every day.
yeah,
Oh.
love it.
Yes, they will.
We love new fans, and obviously got a Dion photo there.
Yep.
Yes, they absolutely should be, and if not, I don't know how they'll ever be better.
Which is what we said last year.
No, I don't think we said that.
I mean,
if Sean
we didn't really
Payton
consider
can't-
the
Yeah, we
possibility
did.
that the Broncos wouldn't be better last season.
And we wouldn't be saying it this year if they hadn't done that last year to prove that they
Wow.
could be maybe not as good. Yes, they better be.
they better be.
I would take the over if the over-under was 5.5 wins.
Yes.
think
Easily.
It's out. The over on.
Let's get to that later this week.
Yeah.
Okay.
8.5.
Zach loves a good tease. Is that all we got?
That's it.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for us today. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Also for letting us talk Jokic for a few minutes.
Yeah.
I need a new show where I just get to get these takes off.
Yes.
Anyways, we will catch you guys tomorrow.